Hey guys, how you doing? Berserker98 here, again with another manga recommendation, and today I want to talk about an amazing historical manga called Astra, Scipio to Hannibal. Now, if you're a tad bit interested in ancient history, and especially Roman history, I'm sure just the name alone of this manga has already ringed a lot of bells in your head. Yes, this manga is about the incredible military leader, the strategic genius, Hannibal, one of the leaders of Carthage that led the military campaign against Rome and almost won basically and inflicted incredible losses. Even though his military strength was much smaller than the Roman Republic, he was able to win purely by using his brain, his strategy, utilizing the geography of the region and utilizing his troops properly. And his military genius is still studied to this very day. Napoleon studied all his battles in order for him to create the strategies for his battles as well. And the strategies that Hannibal utilized are still taught in military schools to this very day, which shows you how much ahead of his time Hannibal was. And also, when you read this manga, you're not going to get bored. It's not going to feel, out of place or, out of time or boring. Because here's the thing, this manga is incredibly realistic. And when I say realistic, I mean realistic. It's not like, for example, I reviewed Quinto ang Kukudan Shestes. It's another manga that's set in the Roman period, and it's obvious that the author took a lot of creative liberties to make the story more fun and more interesting, but not in this manga. This manga is realistic as hell, but even though it's realistic, it manages not to feel like a boring history class. It manages to feel fun and interesting, which goes to show you how talented the mangaka is. And as the name suggests, also this manga is not only about Hannibal. This manga is also about Scipio Africanus, one of the military advisors and leaders in the Roman Republic at that time, also a genius in his own right that was able eventually to defeat Hannibal. Now I know this might be considered a spoiler, but hello, this happened like over 2,000 years ago, so sorry if I spoiled you this historical event. I don't really read this manga for anticipation as for what happens. You just read it because of the amazing art, the amazing story, and how well it's portrayed. So yeah, Scipio in the end does manage to defeat Hannibal, so that shows how an incredible strategist he is to defeat a great man such as Hannibal. So we see his journey and his evolution and his character development in this manga as well. So let's talk about the story. First, the story is incredible. All the characters are very well written. They all have convincing motivations. They all have realistic motivations. Between the confrontations between Carthage and Rome, all the sub-leaders and sub-generals, they don't just listen to their supreme commanders. They're greedy. They have their own desires. They're not just robots that do whatever the commanders tell them, just like in real life. So we have all these inner conflicts between the troops from Carthage and the troops from the Roman Republic. And not only that, we have subplots that involve the Gauls, subplots that involve various Roman cities rebelling, and it's all just very deep, very incredible, very awesome. And I mentioned previously how realistic this manga is, but let me emphasize that again. This manga is so realistic, you can, instead of going to read a history book, if you have an exam on this particular era of history, you could just read this manga. Like, the events are just so well detailed, the characters are so well detailed, and so historically accurate. I'm surprised that the author, that the mangaka was able to make this fun and interesting and not feel like a boring history class. And moving on to the art and the character design, first I have to praise the character design because the troops in Hannibal's command are very racially diverse. He had the Numidian troops, which were North African Berbers. He had the Gaul troops, who were like a Celtic people. He had, of course, some Roman defective troops, and of course the Carthaginians themselves being Phoenicians, the Phoenicians being Semitic people. You really can see the racial differences in the facial expressions and the facial features of the soldiers, which is amazing, which goes to show you how detailed the art is. And another aspect that shows how great the art is how epic the battles. There was a very famous battle that happened between Carthage and the Roman Republic, which is called the Battle of Cannae, where 87,000 Roman troops fought against roughly 50,000 Carthaginian troops, and it is so epic. Like, you could almost swear that the author drew all the 87,000 Roman troops all together. Of course he didn't, but the way he draws the scene gives you the illusion that he did. Like, it is on some Lord of the Rings final battle type shit. It is absolutely epic. The battle strategies are realistic. There is no kingdom shonen type manga moment like where one commander mows down 100 people. That does not happen here at all. Every single battle is won by wits and smarts. And hell, if you're somewhat of an amateur military strategist, you can just use your head, use your logic, and predict where the events will how the events will transpire. So yeah, it's an incredible manga from both a story perspective and an art perspective, and I highly recommend. And bonus points for the Cartesians worshipping the pagan god called Asbal. That's a very interesting detail the mangaka added right there. So yeah, guys, that's it. That's my review. This manga is amazing. Go read it. It's really worth your time. And see you in another manga review. Like and subscribe for more videos.